So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a particular transit video where I'm going to be using this concept of Kal Purush Siddhant. I don't know if you have heard the name Kal Purush Siddhant. You can read off on it online as much as possible. You won't find that right, correct information. This is the essence that my late teacher left for a few of us students to really see how predictions work. Whether it's in dasha, whether it's in transits or progression. So when I'm giving you this Jupiter transit today, I'm going to be using some of these concepts of Desh Kal Siddhant. Kal Purush Siddhant. So, मेरे भाई और बहनों और दुश्मनों, आज एक बात करते हैं आज. क्या बात करते हैं मुझे खुद नहीं पता. बीमार हूं. Yes. So anyway, today we are conducting our video of Jupiter when it meets your planets this year after June. When it's in Cancer. Okay. Till June, I might cover it in the next video. Okay, otherwise this is going to be too long of an information. I ain't got that time. I'm sick, man. Look at my voice. You know, although today I'm more like 90%. Still not 100. Still just feels that. So anyway, and then remember, my marriage course is now active on my academy, including my bundle options where just by one click you have all the courses. Okay, so you have that option now. So Jupiter is going to, let's say we'll start from Sun. Jupiter in Cancer is going to influence your Sun. That means it's either conjunct Sun or aspect Sun, especially through Nadi concepts. And again, I don't want to explain that. Okay, you should already know I've made enough videos on Nadis. Okay. But if you really want to know everything about, transit and how it's really going to affect you so you don't have to do all the hard work, let me do all the hard work. You can go to KPS here and get the transit reading here. So you can get all the details regardless. Okay. Because when Sun, especially in the sign of Cancer, when it's switching from Punarvasu to Pushya, right? And it's meeting your Sun, this is actually a very strong period for a person to receive certain kind of like guaranteed spots in life. Like somebody who has some rightful ownership over something, you receive that particular rightful ownership. You see what I'm trying to say here? Like what is legitimately yours comes to you, is given to you, either by father, authority, or someone else. For example, let's say there have been talks in the past 2-3 years about you receiving a certain property, right? And then you're like, okay, you promised. Where's the property? What's going on? So I can move in there. Or I can do this with it, that with it. Well, now that deserving part kind of like takes place. Okay. And it could be like even something not exactly like something physical. It could be some non-physical, some honor that you were supposed to receive. On the other hand, we also see that this particular Jupiter is going to provide assistance from family. Assistant from family, assistant from banking institutes will be there. Now, on the worst way, you can probably see that if a person is dying in debt, they're sunk in debt. Perhaps what can happen is that a bank can have some mercy on you and say, okay, we'll cut your interest rates down from 25% to 7%. Would you like that deal? Something is happening, right? Something is churning. Or even if you want to go on the worst level of that, when Sun or Jupiter is meeting Sun, okay, you can get approval from the courts to perhaps clear and file your bankruptcy. That's this, and this is again, and this is something I have to explain to you guys through. It's called Kal Purush Siddhant. Okay, so maybe one day I'll go into explanation of this. That when why Jupiter meeting Sun is, I'm giving this prediction. I don't even have to know your ascendant. This is Kal Purush Siddhant. The other thing you will also see, this is a period that success in your children's life will happen. Okay? Success in your children's life will happen. This is also the period great luck in your own father's life happens. You get benefits from government. Okay, but one thing you will see, you will eat royal foods. You will, especially in the second half year onwards, your choice of food will be royal. Now, for a person who's making $15 an hour, for them to go from top ramen for their dinner to perhaps like those Chinese noodles with those weird sauces and all that, that's a jump. So you have to look at it in a very, very practical, realistic perspective. When I say royal, like back in the days for me, royal food used to be when I used to go to, what was the place called? Like some kind of like a Mexican cantina where they had fajita. They would bring this sizzling plate out. And for me and my friend, we thought, oh man, we're at a pretty nice restaurant. Right? We were like, yeah, instead of us going to Taco Bell and all that, let's go here today. It's a $20 meal, but who cares? Right? So that was our level. For somebody, the level could be they're in some steakhouse, which is an average bill is like $400 now for two people or $500. But now they're craving that $1,500 meal. That is on a high rise where you can see all the city and you have this nice, bustling, lavish environment. So every level is different. Okay. So this is something that you will experience. Yes, this is a very positive period for actually having children with Jupiter meeting Sun. Because Sun is one of the original significators of the child. But if you want government assistant, here you will get the government assistant. You will see a lot of people. Now, this is something that will be more based on ascendants, but if you're a movable ascendant, this would be a very strong period to gaining favors from authority, getting promotions. Okay? It'll be neutral for other ascendant with this Sun meeting Sun, but with movable, it can be very helpful. Okay? Because remember, you want movable because you want to shift your life's conditions. You want to go from this fixated condition to now changing to something else. Okay, so this is why it becomes better here. Then, when Jupiter meets Moon, so when Jupiter meets Moon, especially in Cancer, Mother's movement will become active. Mother's far away long distance journey will become active. Short distance journey will become active. Mother, you will see, will definitely gain weight. Mother will gain weight. Mother will also be far more inclined from other years compared to this year, will be cooking more food. Will be trying new varieties of food. You will also see if you are trying to purchase a property, here you can get father's assistant to get financial help for your property. Even though I'm talking about the moon, the father part is going to be there. Okay? Father himself will be looking into either vehicles or properties. The other thing we also see when Jupiter meets moon, especially in Cancer, and this is where we have to kind of see how your original birth chart is. Okay. It can overwhelm a person's mind. You can either overthink, and you can overthink too positively or overthink too negatively. Okay. This is also the period many of you will either desire to shift, look for a job transfer, or will actually shift from your home to a different home or from an apartment to a different apartment. When exactly it does that, for that, of course, I have to know where your moon's degree is. Because your moon's degree will be the triggering point of that. Okay? And Jupiter will definitely, you will see, like many of you will desire more fatty foods, will desire more food with more good fat. You will start putting extra ghee in things, extra butter in things. Okay? Educationally, especially for teenagers, it's a good year to find some positivity and help from your teachers, from your professors, but mainly teachers. The other thing, many of these Jupiter moon meeting moon, you might, if you're single, if you're in that age range, regardless of the age range, if you're single, you might be attracting a partner who will have a child from a previous relationship or previous marriage. Okay? And it will become a very strong lustful attraction. So Jupiter meeting moon will do that. It can even entrap you in some affair. So for those who are single, yeah, you will experience these situations. And there's nothing good or bad. Whatever happens, happens. You're playing your own script out. Okay, who am I to say that your script is wrong versus mine? Then you see Jupiter is going to meet Mercury. When Jupiter meets Mercury, naturally you will see, and it has to impact Mercury, like I said, through Nadi concepts, its aspect, normal aspects and Nadi aspects. Father may deal with health issue. Father will deal with competition. Father will deal with some kind of like a traffic ticket coming to him. Okay? You will also see this is the period that a person suddenly gets enthusiastic about either wanting to attain a higher education, those who have completed their normal bachelor's degree. Suddenly you will have this zeal towards, I gotta further my education. I gotta know this. And now I don't understand that concept. Yes, you need to have that degree in your hand to show off to people and get into ridiculously useless debt. But whatever you can learn from MBA, you can now learn that from ChatGPT and Gemini. They'll teach you things in a month that you will learn in 2 years. I don't know if you've seen some of these videos, but you can have your MBA education now. So there's no use, there's no value anymore of any degree. Even PhD. It's just funny to see that how quickly every degree just became kind of useless. Like they don't have that status. It's like you're driving a Toyota and then you suddenly get a Mercedes. There's a bit of that feeling of different. Yeah, I'm driving a Mercedes. But now it's like, well, who cares? Everybody's driving a Mercedes now. Mercedes has become a Toyota. That's the kind of feeling that happens. And Jupiter with Mercury, you will see that a person, especially by the father, gets blamed. the person gets blamed by the father for something. Also, when Jupiter meets Mercury, a lot of short distance travel becomes active. You will see father will be overly communicative with you and with everybody else, but specifically you, the individual. Now, it could be a good communication, it could be extremely harsh, where every single time you meet your father, he's criticizing you, he's nitpicking you, he's belittling you. How we see that? Because if, let's say, your Jupiter's meeting Mercury, okay, and at the same time, you're seeing Ketu come in the middle of that Mercury. Okay? So if that happens, then yes, you will see that instead of praises, it becomes more of like either constructive criticism, especially if the original Jupiter is looking at Mercury as well. So you're safe a little bit from that. Otherwise, this is going to be very harsh communication between the individual and their father. You will also see that there's going to be some karma that father will have to get involved with the mother side of family, like helping his own brother-in-law, which is your maternal uncle. Some connection, some help or karma there will be becoming active with this Jupiter meeting Mercury. Okay. This is definitely the period where a lot of people, if you're doing a business, you're going to expand your business. Expanding doesn't really have to be, connected to making your place bigger. It simply means you're adding, let's say, more merchandise. You are simply now marketing more of your business from small territory to now like a bigger territory. Okay, like you will see with this Jupiter and Mercury, if you are in business, you will get a lot of marketing ideas, a lot of marketing schemes coming to you, while specifically Jupiter is in Pushya. Okay. On the Ashlesha side, you're pretty much going to be more focused on learning something related to your own health. Okay. Jupiter and Mercury, you may even perform some last rites for ancestors. That can happen with the Ashlesha part. Then, Jupiter is meeting Venus. Well, this is the time of marriage proposals, relationships, okay? Money, and especially you will multiply your banks, meaning you have one bank, you will suddenly open up another bank. Jupiter, when it meets Venus from Cancer, okay, this is the period of expansion of Venus, expansion of Venus's energy. See, I wouldn't be saying the same thing if Jupiter was in Aries and then meeting Venus. Then I would simply focus on one small part. Here with Jupiter in Cancer, then meeting Venus, or looking at Venus through Nadi concepts, you will see a vast expansion of that Venus. You will see more money than you need becomes available, whether through debts or whether through your earnings. Relationship, naturally, like you will just see without you even doing anything, somehow, some way, things manifest for people who are in that right age. Like, for example, 18 to, 37, 38, or if you're just single. And Venus, especially in Cancer, with Jupiter in Cancer and Jupiter meets Venus, you will be somehow constantly focused on, I need that car, I want this car, I need that car, I want this car, how do I get it, how do I get it? Sometimes actually such type of things can be very beneficial because it motivates a person to just go and work and take any job. I used to have these Persian friends who would work at Nordstrom's. This was back in mid-2000s. They would be working at Nordstrom's, and their only entire thing to work at Nordstrom's because 95% of their salary went into their, M5 BMW that they wanted. I couldn't even care about cars back then, because I couldn't even afford a Toyota. But these guys were like so motivated. They're like, no, I'm working because they wanted to take that Beamer down to the clubs. Okay. These were good looking tall guys and they wanted to get that BMW, and then they would make all kinds of fake stories. They're doing this, and they're, big builders. Even though now some of them have switched to real estate, but it's funny, like they would do anything to have girls. So I've witnessed all those things. So, but yeah, it motivates a person, and this happens especially when now Jupiter from that water sign, okay? Because remember, water is flowing. Water can expand and narrow down, right? Ketu in Cancer's now making the water stream narrow. When Jupiter is there, it's making the stream wider, right? And in that, then Venus is swimming within that stream. This is how you can understand these plays of karma. And if you are married, you will see spouse begins to gain healthy weight. Not extreme overweight, that would be more connected with Rahu. Now, unless your Venus is with Rahu in the birth chart and then Jupiter looks, yes, then it could be like even like thyroid or immense fluctuation of weight that can happen. But when Jupiter looks at Venus, it's like, imagine somebody who is almost anorexic and suddenly they just have that fullness. You see them after a month and they're like full and you feel like, wow, you look so great. So it's that perfect healthy weight gain that comes about. And especially during this time period, okay, if you have a business, and especially if your wife, in a man's chart, if your wife is your partner, this is going to be a beautiful placement to get benefits, financial benefits in your business. Because Jupiter is looking at the wife, influencing the wife, and money. You're doing business with the wife. So the blessings that are coming to the wife then comes to you. See how that works? So you have to understand the tattva, and one of the things you will see, because this is a water rashi, right? Water has memory. So you will see that usually when Jupiter is in Cancer, meets Venus, you create unforgettable memories with your significant other in that particular year. Whether finally you guys decide to have a baby, that could happen. That's an omen. Somebody's at the door. So, what was I saying? My daughter's friends were at the door. So Jupiter was meeting Venus, and something happened, right? I don't even know what I was saying, because that's when that omen happened, where dogs began to bark. Because it was something about the business part that I was saying. But anyway, it's in the edit, so I don't need to expand on it. That is the omen then. Something significant related to that will be taking place. Okay. And also with Jupiter being in Cancer and then influencing Venus, you will see those who are married, and especially in a man's chart, spouse will desire to change something in the kitchen. She will desire to change something aesthetically. And if Sun is involved, let's say Sun is also is there with Venus, then it's going to be light fixture for sure. If just Venus is there, you will see she will try or desire to change something on the island or the cabinets, especially if Saturn or Mars are involved, cabinets. And should you do it or not do it, that depends on the ascendant, because some ascendant should not proceed towards changing things in their kitchen. Okay. And that too depends exactly which planet, like for example, Scorpio ascendant. Like Scorpio ascendant should not change anything in the, at least, well, no, that's bathroom. Kitchen is fine. Bathroom is something that Scorpio ascendant shouldn't be changing. Then Jupiter is meeting Jupiter. Actually, Jupiter is meeting Mars first. So yeah, let's talk about Mars. So now this is an interesting one, just like every time I mention this, if your Jupiter is going to be influencing Mars, it's aspecting Mars, it's going over Mars. Immediately when June comes in, I want you to make an appointment to check your cholesterol or blood work done. Either way. Why is that I'm saying it? So this way you will see that a nurse will come in the doctor's office, put a syringe in your forearm, take blood out, right? So syringe is Mars, blood is Mars, and forearm is Mars. When that blood is taken out, it will calm your Mars down by 80%, which means if you were supposed to deal with some injuries, cuts, burns, bruises, fights, disputes, okay, you have now nullified them. They still happen, but it's like so minute that you don't even pay attention that it happened. So that's the number one thing you should do. Because here, especially in Cancer, the water sign, that most likely you might have Mars in water signs, right? Or an earth sign. So here it's going to then very much irritate Jupiter the Jiva. Okay. Although usually you will see, because Mars is weak in Cancer, it's not able to have so much strength to provide so much damage. So actually, no, I would take that back. Like it, still you should do this remedy. But on the other hand, because Jupiter finally comes in Cancer, right, in water sign, and Mars is now being infected, you see suddenly you find some kind of a guidance or mentor in your life to motivate you. Like imagine you're an athlete and you're sitting in some country town out in the village at night as sprinklers can't even speak today. Sprinklers are going on and you're all wet. You're sitting in a soccer field, cricket field, right? Why? Because you're a number one talent, yet you are a talent in a completely wrong space. And yet then you find this motivation through a mentor and a teacher to leave your town, go to a place where your talents are valued. It's that analogy of a water bottle. You know, a water bottle is worth 50 cents in a gas station. Same water bottle is $5 at a hotel and $15 in an airport. And it's $20 at a sports event or a concert. So the water is the same, is that location changes its value. So now what happens with this Jupiter going into Cancer, now seeing Mars, suddenly the talent, the energy, the burning desire you had that you was just melting away, or not even melting, sinking due to the water. Finally, the Jupiter's Agni comes about and helps you to break out of your shell. So so again, there's these both sides of it. One side, like I told you, do this remedy. The other side, you do find the fact that finally you just again awaken after maybe 12 years, especially the third cycle of Jupiter. If this is the third cycle, you will see in the third cycle, a person naturally gets a lot of results related to this meeting of these two fronts. Like especially during this time period, we also see you get praises, awards in your educational field. Yes, father himself may either, deal with some injuries, and depending upon if your father's going through anything, then it can be like a surgery. Okay, where something can be very minute. Okay, so if you have Jupiter going over Mars, you should even have your father do the same thing. Tell your father go do a cholesterol check. Okay. Plus, it's good you get to find out where your health stands. But for you and your father both, because this is happening in your chart, right? So I will still say for your father, this also is valid. Okay. Then you will also see benefits come to your younger brother. Actually, younger brother may actually find somebody to get married this particular transit. And this is again not just 2026, but also 2027 too. Okay. Because again, it'll depend upon what degree Mars is at. It may happen right around November before when it moves into Leo, but also moves back into Cancer too. And sometimes a retrograde planet actually gives results in certain charts versus when it's direct in a certain charts. Okay. But yeah, very beneficial for younger brother, including brother-in-law. Like you might be hearing that they just bought a property, they just bought themselves a new car. And then, so it's a great time for their achievements, including your achievements. Knowing that remedy was done. When Jupiter is meeting Jupiter, well, this is expansion of your knowledge, expansions in father's life, coming off your teacher, advisor, counselor. Okay, you learn some greatest wisdom from your own mother. When this Jupiter comes in, great wisdom happens through your own mother. This is also can be the time when your father can receive his own inheritance. Like, for example, father is only in mid-50s or 60s. And suddenly now, because the assets were in some irrevocable trust, and it was said that only after this age you will have access to this, suddenly like that access is coming up while Jupiter is hitting Jupiter. Okay, so these type of scenarios play out, not all the time. Either father had already got his inheritance or he didn't. But there are certain scenarios, like especially like father will find a really great deal in purchasing of a property, or a really great deal when he's wanting to construct his home, or upon behalf of your mother's wishes, trying to do something. So you will hear these changes that are happening in the home of the father. Okay, you will visit with Jupiter meeting Jupiter. Okay, especially in Cancer, you will be traveling to meeting your guru, meeting your teacher. So if you already have one, you will definitely go travel and see them. Okay. Many people, like when Jupiter meets Sun or Jupiter itself, they tend to collect gold. Buy gold, storing gold. Okay. Like Jupiter, Mars, forgot to mention that it can bring about hidden treasures as well. Okay. Then when Jupiter is meeting Saturn, well, this is the period of career achievements. This is the period of getting a job. You are looking for a job will come to you. Okay. This is the period where you will attend many conferences. You will attend many large organized events. This is also the particular period where foreign opportunities will come to you. So even though right now with what's happening in the world, where most of these visas are being canceled, blocked, restricted, so like that big world that you saw was a village, right? Now that village is like shrinking back again. It's in a way what it used to be pre-internet. Although it'll never be the same, it'll never go back to that same thing. But you can see how majority of the countries have like completely shrunk their visa allowance. But people who are destined to go will go. Okay. You will also see you will get naturally inclined towards either writing, publishing during this time, giving lectures. Like somehow you may be asked to talk about maybe a product in your work. Okay, and you should give a, if you are asked to give some presentation about this product, act as if, meaning act as if you are the only expert on this product. That will be a great triggering point for your success. And again, this is something like I said with uh, Kal Purush Siddhant. There's these little magnetic secrets that are hidden in these meeting of these planets. You will also see with Jupiter meeting Saturn, suddenly your in-laws can prosper, your spouse's family can prosper. You will see something, some news about they just got this, they just bought that, they just did this, they just did that. Okay. And yeah, you must be thinking that it is Venus and Jupiter that would do this. It's actually Saturn and Jupiter that brings about a person finally investing in something significant. Okay. Investing in something significant. Then, Jupiter is meeting Rahu and Jupiter is meeting Ketu. To Jupiter going over Rahu. Okay, the one thing you will see is that Jupiter is going to bring about big major travel. Okay, if your Rahu is in a water sign, okay, and Jupiter is connecting with it, there would be, and this is something you will see, literally when Jupiter is going direct in Gemini, somehow certain plans begin to manifest about some travel. And exactly, like I said, I have to see the degree of your Rahu to see exactly when this particular type of travel is going to be happening. You will also, you will see benefits will come from foreign people or people of different, complete different culture and ethnic background, especially when you meet them in a crowded setting. So you're going to also experience this. If your Jupiter is meeting Rahu, you're going to be meeting people in a very emotional, connective, or collective event. It could be anything, you know. It could be some satsang. It could be anything connected with, you know, some musical concert. It could be some farewell to someone. But in these type of places, you will see that you're going to meet and emotionally connect with people who can actually suddenly benefit you. Suddenly actually give you some opportunities for travel as well. Okay? You are going to learn mostly during this particular year, and you will make emotional connection with online teachers, online gurus. Okay? So, especially the best learning with Rahu is going to be online. You will see somehow, last year you may have learned greatly with a professor or teacher in person. This year, if Jupiter is going to meet Rahu after June in Cancer, you're going to see somehow emotionally you just are able to comprehend and understand something when you're just like watching something online, watching something through some app, using your communication device. Especially if, let's say, that teacher connects with you over Zoom. You will connect with them, you will understand, and you will learn. Because that's the alignment. Okay? A lot of overeating can happen with Jupiter and Cancer meeting Rahu. People will get into overeating related to sweets, can also consume themselves with addictive substances, liquid substances. Okay, just because Jupiter is in Cancer exalted doesn't mean it's a great exalted Jupiter. Sometimes it can be quite a dangerous exalted Jupiter for some people. And on the other hand, when Jupiter is going to meet Ketu, now these are the people emotionally connected with astrology, occult, mysticism, tantra, guru. Okay. you will see that for some reason, such people feel like I need to get away from what I've known and I need to look at something much more secretive, minute, and rejected by the world. Like you will see, especially when Jupiter meets Ketu in Cancer, these are the people who grew up in the family who hates astrologer, who thinks astrology is complete nonsensical, pseudoscience. Stay away from these people. They're charlatans, they're this, they're that, they're scam artists. Suddenly now, this particular person will emotionally connect with the fact that, you know what, there's something there. I know there's something there. And now I'm going to have this tunnel vision that I'm going to go and explore this thing. Their view become very microscopic. So they're not seeing what the broad world is saying with Rahu, online garbage that you hear every day. Dollar is going to crash today. And then world is going to crash today. Start preparing and nuclear war is happening. You see, everybody's just wanting to make AdSense money. So they have to make some clickbait title. Okay. What Ketu does then, Ketu's like, whatever this view is, this broad view that we're seeing on social media and on TikTok and all that, I am going to go complete opposite of what is actually is talked against. So I'm not going to believe what you're all saying up here, that this has happened, this has happened. I'm going to actually see the people who says this won't happen. This is why Jupiter-Ketu combination in Cancer can make a person very, very stubborn emotionally towards biased opinions. Because they're like, listen, hold on. Because now they're thinking emotionally. They're thinking from the heart. They're like, I'm not going to just believe this biased opinion that you're giving because, hey, have you tried astrology? Have you learned astrology? So if you haven't even tried it, if you haven't even practiced it, how can you say it doesn't work? Okay, now let's see what's going on in here. You will see, especially with Jupiter and Ketu, such people in Cancer will begin to, they will like reading some classical book, some original book, nothing that is cultivated with some, moron like me online. They want to actually know about what is actually Parashara said. What does this mean? What does this Sanskrit slok means? Okay, ChatGPT will translate this. What does this mean? Okay, this is what this means. Wait a second, everybody else in this article all over online says that this passage means this, but now ChatGPT is saying this. Okay, let me try Gemini now. Then you'll go on Grok. You'll like, okay, so who has the best translation for Sanskrit? Now you're understanding, wait a second, that doesn't even make sense anymore. Why the hell is everybody saying this about this passage from Bhirat Parashara Horashastra? This is the one that makes sense. So this is what Jupiter-Ketu now. Jupiter-Ketu, especially in water. And let me tell you something. If this is happening in your ascendant or 7th house, which means you're either Cancer or Capricorn ascendant, right? This can be the arising of the fluid from bottom of the spine to the top. There's a tunnel. God, I wish I could just give you guys this one suggestion during meditation, but I don't know if it's like crossing the boundaries of Kriya or not. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't. See, this is what I hate. It's all this secrecy around keeping it a secret, not tell anyone. I don't know. If it's something that Krishna taught Arjuna, why can't anybody have it and be talked about? But I guess it has its rules, so can't mess with them. Okay. So, and then the other thing you will see with Jupiter and Cancer, because here it's going to meet Ketu, you're going to go on a diet. You might actually go into a liquid diet. You'll start to lose weight. Your cheekbones will start to show. While Jupiter, when it meets Rahu, you will have a smokiness in front of your face. That smoke, this is blackness or smokiness just will be felt around you. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Jupiter going every other planet in 2026. Again, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you can see this type of videos. And if you want to join the marriage course, check out the links in the description. All my consultations, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.